Behold my stuff. I'm going to share with you the original reproduction of the Daisy air rifle that was made by the Iron Windmill Company of Plymouth, Michigan. And I think the internet has it wrong on the history that the windmill company gave these away and it became more lucrative than making windmills. I think there's a little more to it than that. I don't believe that's quite true. Iron windmills were hard to ship, and by that time mostly people were using wooden windmills. So anyway, I urge you to go research that for yourself, but I don't believe what the internet thinks is 100% correct. Either way, I do know that Daisy, the name, was actually coined by someone when they first shot it. He said, "Ooh, that's a daisy," which at that time, the verbiage kind of meant, wow, that would be like the equivalent of someone saying, "Whoa, this is lit," or "this is fire." That was what daisy meant back in the day, so the name just kind of stuck. But the reproduction, very detailed, to include even the box and some of the materials are exactly as they were in the 1800s when this was first made. So it's not just like a standard corrugated fiberboard box. I mean, it is like a fiberboard, but not like a cardboard. All right, so let's open that up. Inside had all these little goodies. So let me give it a little measurement here. Let me take some stuff out, because it's really not that big of an air gun. Let's go here. Just get an estimate. Yeah, about 32 inches. Not exactly, but it is quite small. It's about, I'd say it's about the same size as a Daisy Buck, which is like a tiny little youth BB gun. But okay, first thing is the packaging. Packaging, it has this wooden fiber. This wooden fiber is what's known as Excelsior, or wooden, I think it's wood wool. And it actually is still being produced. So the movie Christmas Story, the infamous scene where the old man unpacks the leg lamp, it was packed in this material that's known as Excelsior. Just today you learned. Okay, so I got my original receipt. So this thing was like $300 when it came out, which, I mean, it is expensive because it's really not a BB gun that you can go out and shoot over and over. It's not made to be, it's made to more or less be a display piece. And it helps fund the Daisy Museum, which is who commissioned these. There was 1,000 made. It is marked. What number do I got? 483 of 1,000. So for the most part, this is a pretty much one-for-one model, the original. This one actually has a little more improvements to it, because the original was prone to breaking. There was about 4 or 5 different variants of the original because of the constant improvements to the gun itself. So it was kind of an evolving build. And so here, what do we got here? I got some certificate of authenticity, Daisy Museum, some targets. These are like really good cardstock. There was a lot of detail. I mean, for $300, I felt that it was worth it for the amount of detail that goes in and how limited and the history. Replica air gun. So for the most part, I believe that this is almost what it was. Yeah, see, $2. It wasn't like a free giveaway for the windmill company. No, there's more to that story than what the internet believes. And the paperwork actually came in this little envelope, but I took that out. Aha, there's the story of It's a Daisy. Okay. And I'll go over some of the I won't shoot it, but I'll go over some of the details for you. Also came with a little coin, I think a spare front sight, because the front sight is just like silver soldered on the barrel. It's fragile, I'll say. And also a little pack of BBs. Not lead BBs. Originally, this gun, when it was released, Daisy shot lead BBs. The barrel was tapered. This one shoots steel BBs. There's a little magnet down at the bottom. And a couple of the other improvements, I think it had to do with this area here because it would break on the original. If you had an original, it'd be worth quite a nice little chunk of change. NRA Museum does have one of these. So, oh, and I think, let's see, let me flip this guy over. Kind of hard doing one-handed, but okay. And so, see that actually doubles as the rear sight. So that's the cocking handle. That whole piece lifts up, pulls back towards you. Drop a BB down. And then there's the front sight, and that's the rear sight. I mean, it's quite crude, but, you know, for the time, neat little toy. Trigger is very crude. You know, it just probably engages a single sear piece of metal. And it's just a crude spring. But it works. The other thing to note about this is most air guns, they have some kind of a piston or it's pneumatic. Well, this one is a piston, and the piston material is like wax string wound around a piece of metal, and that's what creates that seal. So it's not the most resilient if you go to shoot it. That's why this really wasn't designed to shoot that much. And I mean, that's all I really got about this thing. It's just a cool little wall hanger, some history. I really do like the look. I like the wire stock look. It's one of those items that you can tell it looks old just because the design, you know, just has like a, I wouldn't call it timeless, but a vintage look to it. And how much? Yeah, like $312. The Daisy Wire Stock BB Gun, made by the Plymouth Iron Windmill Company in Michigan.